All right, and now let's welcome in, first of all, an ECU legend, ECU Hall of Famer, and now, I don't even want to say it, Coach, an NC State coach. Coach, welcome to the show.
Man, glad to be here, Holton. I appreciate you calling in and us talking about it, and I'm looking forward to being here with you.
Yes, sir, man. So, man, it's crazy how, life is for one. Like, you recruited me, then you obviously got fired, and then I got recruited somewhere else, played here. We still kept a relationship. So it's just crazy to even have you on the pod. We're excited for you to be back again. You obviously are a friend of the pod, but obviously NC State, ECU, it's a big game. Last year in the bowl game was a big game. We want to talk about that in a second, but first I just want to talk about y'all's off season. You're in camp right now, obviously. Like, how has camp been? How are the boys looking?
Man, you know what, Holton? You're a football guy. I've been around it. It's been started really from the off season. In the spring, all season, winter, but all summer. But it was good to get them on the field, get around the boys. They really had a really good mentality about themselves, and it's just that grind, and you got to take it one day at a time. But it's been fun to be around them and watch them play. And school's beginning Monday, so this is the last weekend you have just football only. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm mixing classes with that, so that'll be another adjustment. But so far, man, they worked really hard and trying to progress and get better each day.
For sure. So, Coach, obviously in college football, it's kind of unprecedented to play a team 2 times in a row. It isn't as much, it's still, kind of rare to play a team, at the end of one season, at the beginning of next. But that's kind of what you guys have the opportunity to do. You and ECU, clearly. The bowl game was a very passionate game. It was a great game, a historic game. And you guys obviously lose that game. How much fuel has that put on y'all's fire to say, look, we lost to them, but we play them first game next year. Let's set the tone. Let's show them who we really are.
Well, you know what, Holton, now it's changed a lot since I remember coming to your home. You were a ninth grader, I think, and I offered you. But it's changed a lot. One, I thought, and we know East Carolina outplayed us. Their team was ready to play. They did a very good job, executed well. And they beat us and had the lead most of the game. And we took it for a little bit and then came right back and they made the plays and win. So we understand that. We also understand what it takes. A great learning lesson for all of us, coaches and players, that when you step on the field between the lines, man, you got to understand what's at stake and in the game, finishing plays. All right, that's just not that, but the entire game, there's plays to be made. So that game was a very big lesson for all of us. And like I said, East Carolina did a great job, and they won. And it was a tough win, a tough loss for us here, but I know it was a big win for the Pirates, and we have to get ready. And that's been a part of not just that game, but an off season of getting better. You have too many. Now you have with the transfer portal and some of the young freshmen coming in, you have to get those guys ready to play. 41 of our guys were not here at the time, right? So they had to learn pretty quickly, hey, look, this is what happened. This is what's happening. This is what that team means and what that game means to everybody here. And so it was a big deal, big learning lesson for us, Holton.
Coach Ruff, Caden here. Good to have you on the pod again. Quick question for you talking about last year's game. Coach Doran mentioned he didn't see it much as a rivalry. We go out there, we beat them. Media day, Coach mentions he wants to beat the crap out of us. Do you feel like last year's win for ECU kind of restoked the flames for NC State's passion against ECU?
Well, maybe I'm the only one. I've been to both schools. I've played. We played NC State since I played them since I was freshman year, 1976. So, yeah, I'm not sure about the coach, the media day, anything like that. But yeah, I'm sure Coach understands what's at stake, and just like all of us do. And the main thing is getting guys ready to play. And, East Carolina's earned the respect from everyone, not just last year, but, you're talking to, as you know, the guy who played there and coached there for a little bit. And now I'm here. So, yeah, they understand, and coaches do too, understand what's at stake.
Totally. And then looking at your guys, CJ Bailey, freshman quarterback last year, freshman year, sophomore year, how much have you seen him mature this offseason?
Well, and you got an expert beside you, a guy who's went through it, but it's been big. The tough times and the positive times for any player, but especially that position, it's so critical, the quarterback position, and he's done a great job. Everything comes with that. First, the job itself, and Holton, and you guys know that, you get as much credit as a head coach when good things happen, and as much of a negative when tough things happen. Right, that position carries a lot. So I think CJ's learned a lot very quickly. He's a really, really neat kid. Young, I can't call him kid. He's 6'6", 6'5", young man, and he's been around really good programs as a high school player. And Coach Carter is different, but he's one of those guys that has been around, and he takes the leadership role very seriously. And he's fun to be around. Great attitude every day at practice, and good kid. And he's learned to take over the team and take over the offense. So I like being around CJ. Neat young man, and really, really cool to be around. I see it each day. We talk every day we go to practice.
I love it, Coach. Obviously, I got recruited by both ECU and NC State, actually by Coach Dorn. So I know the recruiting pitch, at least back then. I know times have changed a lot, but the recruiting pitch back then was amazing. I loved it. Honestly, if I didn't just love ECU, wasn't from here, like I would 100% win NC State. Has the recruiting pitch changed with transfer portal guys, with the new era of college football? You've been through a lot of different programs, including ECU, including NC State. Like, has the recruiting pitch changed for NC State at all over the years with the new portal and stuff?
Well, I mean, you have to, it is different. I think what you represent in the past, and Coach Dorn being here for 13 years, for example, is big. That's one of the top longest longevity numbers in the country. That helps, but you also have to recruit to fit your culture, and know that the development process, Holton, has to happen very quickly. When you get him, he may be in 6 months. And if you get lucky, you may have a young man for 2 years, excuse me. If you catch an extra year with one, but in 6 months, you have to get him ready to be a part of your team and your culture. So that part has changed when you go in and you look at in the portal, and you got to find the right guy. Talent is not the main thing. It's the guy that has talent, who has playing time, and also who's willing to sacrifice for the culture he is now entering. We're not his culture; he's our culture. So. My pitch to you that night in the home when I came in, it's about the same as here. We're still recruiting them hard, but there's another factor to it. We got to understand what we're getting, but he has to understand first what he's coming into. And I think that helped. We had to shape that a little bit, and I think it's keep paying off for us now. When you go through things a number of times, you sort of find your way to do it and how to do it, and that's sort of been our role at it. But similar, but changed because you don't have them that long.
For sure. So let's stick in the same recruiting thing. Similar to my story, I got recruited by both schools. A lot of these regional kids, a lot of these North Carolina kids are getting recruited by both schools. Obviously, ECU won the last game. Before that was my senior year. ECU lost. NC State won that one. Do you think this next game 1, is a big culture setting? We were just talking about culture as well and recruiting. Do you think it's big for recruiting to win that game for both schools? Football season's coming up. Clearly, ECU and NC State are about to play. That's why you're listening to this Ruffin McNeill interview. Get you a Jolly Roger belt from AnsonBelt.com. Look, you can mix and match the belts. They got purple belts, leather belts, anything in between. Blake Harrell and his staff will be wearing an Anson belt on the field of Carter Finley Stadium. Caden, we love Anson belts.
You could get for this upcoming game in Carter Finley, you could get a purple belt with the Jolly Roger and be ready for game day.
There we go. AnsonBelt.com. Appreciate you guys for supporting the pod.
I think especially playing any in-state school, Holton have been on both sides. Now, even within the state, Appalachian State at point of time, I think anytime you play any in-state schools, and because we're a close rivalry of from Greenville to Raleigh and Raleigh back to Greenville, East Carolina to state. But I think anytime you play an in-state school, I think that has to have some bearing on recruiting. And we played each other a long time. Like I said, 1976. My freshman year, even before then, but that was my first year of the contest between the Pirates and the Wolfpack as a player. So it's been a long time. So it can be it is definitely a part of it because it's an in-state school. Your parents gonna be able to see the games. Your friends probably attend one of the other schools. So yeah, a lot can go into it.
For sure, Kane. What do you got?
Yeah, ECU's coming in with Blake Harrell, obviously finishing last year with a solid record, but everyone's looking at this as kind of his first game. What are some challenges? You've been in college football since 1976. What are some challenges of that first game for teams, but overall, first-year coaches or head coaches every year?
Well, always it's always you have practice and you try to create game situations. In the game, it's going to be a little different because of the emotion of the reality of the game, the fan bases. A lot of guys first game in their college career, a lot of games first time, like the last earlier question, their first time at your school, if it was a transfer or a freshman. So a lot goes into it, from a coaching standpoint, find out what guys can perform in that heat of battle at that time. Um, it gives you a great idea if you're starting point, you still have a long season left. You got a lot of games left to play, so you got to be ready to handle that. But I think it's really unique because it's here now, but you have to be prepared to make decisions quicker based on performance within the game now. Just like we did, ECU lost a lot of kids, some kids in the offseason as well. So we've had to adjust to that, and you have to see how to react in the game situation. So that's always, as a coach, you always learn about, okay, which kid is going to handle this thing in a proper manner. You try to prepare it all the whole offseason, put them in game situations, and as close as you can, but it's nothing like the game. So we have to wait and see. But, it'll be a game where you have to be ready to make decisions, adjustments, and keep a calm head on both sides.
Because you're talking about the heat of battle. We've all been through college camps before and understand that is where you are in the heat of battle. That's where you figure it out. That's where you figure out who the team is. How do you guys feel about, the team going into game one versus ECU?
Well, again, you got, some new guys, young guys, we feel like we progressed well. I think it started back in the offseason, understanding first about yourself. What do you have to do to get better? What things on your team you need to have or put in that need to get better? When it comes to breaking down your opponents, you got to make sure you know what they are and who they are. And I think I can define that pretty good, about as good as anybody, right? So I know exactly what how they play and how they're going to play, and so do our players and our coaching staff. So we know you have to be ready mentally first of all, but also better keep your poise, and stay calm, and at the same time have execution on all three sides of the ball. And but so we've tried to make sure we keep handling it again, like I said, like you don't never know until the game kicks off, and that frying pan gets hot. So on both sides, but looking forward to the challenge, but not yet though. We need the next couple of weeks to prepare.
Okay, what do you got?
Coach, as football season's approaching, college football is known for the traditions. What's your favorite college football tradition you've been a part of or witnessed as a coach?
Wearing the purple and gold, Coach. Come on now.
Well, that was a great one. You know what I mean? Coming out and the smoke over there, that. This one over here is pretty good. I've been a part of that, but a lot of them, man, you're talking about 46 years of coaching. That's a long time.
That is.
But I've been blessed, man, to be in this game period and be in this sport period that long, and meeting guys and young men like yourselves doing this podcast. This is my first one. I don't do many of them.
Yes, sir.
So
appreciate it.
Holton asking that helped a lot, because I want everybody else to get the credit. I like to be in the background now and coach the kids up and mentor them and get them ready to take on life too as well. But y'all are different, so that's why I'm on here today.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah. So I think, but what the traditions, I think they're all, wherever you are is your home. Wherever your feet are, that's your home. And I've been very fortunate to have feet there in Greenville, feet here in Raleigh, as well as some other places along the way. But that's a great part of college football. That's the big thing. When I talked to a lot of guys in the NFL, and they said they really miss that part of people try to duplicate in the NFL, but you can speak to this. It's not the same. It's not the same. Some look like they may be, but entering the field at a collegiate level is a totally different thing, and a lot of people take pride in that. And I've been lucky to be a part of a lot of schools that do that.
Yeah, I'd say the passion's not the same, and like people were like, "Yeah, I got passion for it and all that in the NFL." I'm like, "Nah, you ain't got college passion. Even the fan passion, it's just not the same."
It's not. I've had guys that I've been to maybe once or two NFL games of my former players, and I don't go out much to games. I just like sitting home. Really, I don't watch football. I'm a secret. I don't watch football except during the season. I just like watching college football, and I watch a little bit NFL because we got some players, but not much. There's nothing like passion in college football,
100%.
and the fan support, and whether it's for you or against you, it's still the most passionate game there is. I know basketball is a great sport as well, and some other sports, but there's nothing like the football season in the fall, cranking things up. The boys will fall.
Yes,
the boys will fall, cranking it up, and getting ready to go out and do battle. But it's a fun. I've been blessed to be a part of it, man, this long, and I hope God keeps blessing me. I'm having fun doing it.
Speaking of passion, I had to ask how cool was it being part of the Red River rivalry one year?
Oh man, 3 years out there, part of it. We were 2-1 at the Red River, and then 1-0 in the championship game. I got a chance to be the coordinator in that championship game too, as well. So, man, you're talking about 50,000 people on one side of the stadium love you and cheer for you, and the other 50,000 give you a lot of hand gestures that are not very kind hand gestures. If that makes any sense, they come at you hard now. They're really, it's fun. It's action packed. There's a boo or a cheer on each snap, and you can't hear yourself on the sideline whatsoever. And they have the fair going on, the big state fair and all that, and people are absolutely maniacs there at that game. So that was a different game, to go into. And they try to tell me, hey, you been in big games? Nothing like that. I said, yeah, sure. I've been in big games. No, not like that. That was a different one. It was fun and challenging, especially when you win. It's good. We got beaten there one time. That wasn't much fun.
Speaking of maniacs, Coach, you should have seen this man in December. He was a maniac after
I was going
ECU,
crazy
after that last one.
I know he was. I know. I tell you, there's no doubt that boy was. I understand. I ain't mad at him. I've known him since he was 14, 15 years old. So
yeah, yes, sir.
That's what you love about it. There's the challenges part. You hate to come up on the short end, and you love to come up on the big end of it.
Coach, Caden kind of spoke about it earlier. You've been in the position of Blake Harrell now, the head coach, of being an interim head coach and then being a head coach. We talked about it last week, just about how does the mindset change? Because when you're an interim, you have nothing to lose. You're you have everything to gain, but nothing to lose. You kind of go into it. You can go for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal. You can kick onside kicks. You can kind of just be aggressive. But then when you're the head coach, it's different. I know you were at a different school, Texas Tech to ECU, obviously. But how does the mindset change, or does it at all change going from interim to head coach?
Oh, it definitely changes. You have you as an interim, you may have responsibility of the entire program and entire players and coaching staffs and their families. You go to making the suggestions and decisions as an assistant to now as a head coach, you make all the decisions. The assistant coaches make suggestions, but you now have the final decision, and you have to be the one that makes the call, and so it is different. It's a change, and you have to prepare for it. My dad taught me at a very young age, my coach, when I first went into it, how to prepare to play, prepare to play, prepare to coach, and even the whole time. So I never forgot that. So. May be a little bit different for me with that question because I was taught to prepare for what you want before you get there. So when you get there, it's like you've already been there. Make any sense? Just like shooting free throws at the end of the game.
Yeah.
In your mind, out in the backyard, you count down 3, 2, 1, or shooting a jump shot or whatever it might be. I was taught that as a coach. So I prepared for my time if it came. I prepared for it before I got there. So I was sort of ready for it. But you're right, it is different when to finally get the name. And I'm sure Blake done a great job, did a great job as a coordinator, and I know he's going to do a great job as a head coach.
For sure. Does the pressure change? That's something I'm curious of is Does the pressure change? Because I feel like there's no pressure when you're interim. Like, I maybe a little bit
Yeah,
that you put on yourself, but how does the pressure change from like, all right, well, now if I lose, like, I am getting fired?
yeah. You know what? And not only do you have that on your shoulders, but your coaches that you've hired and their families come with that now. You're responsible not just for yourself and your family, but the coaches and their families. That's where responsibility. I've always been I felt like the protector in any position of the whole staff, but now as a head coach, you really are the protector. You have to provide for everybody's family. You are the spokesperson for everyone in your building, including the players, of course. But you have the coaches that you have to protect, and they back you now, and so you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You have to be ready to handle it with poise and confidence, and have a plan. And you have to be flexible too, as well as still listen to advice from the right people, but also be ready to make that decision of yes or no. It's all in your hands. So it is different, Holton. It is. It's different.
The Holton Ahlers Show loves good barbecue. We also love a good cause. That's why we love Sam Jones Barbecue. If you go to Sam Jones, first of all, it's not if, when you go to Sam Jones Barbecue, round up on your order. They're trying to make two Make-A-Wish, Eastern North Carolina. They're trying to make 2 wishes by their 10-year anniversary, November 10th. I know Coach Ruff loves some good Eastern North Carolina barbecue. Coach Ruff, don't you love some barbecue?
That's right. Holton, I love ECU barbecue. I mean, Sam Jones barbecue, and make sure you round up on them orders.
Round up on them orders, just like Coach Ruff said. Appreciate you guys for supporting the pod.
Ruffin McNeill is not associated with Sam Jones barbecue, but Ruffin McNeill has told us personally he does love barbecue, and he is associated with the Holton Ahlers Show.
Yeah, but so that is something that just like, I think that's a storyline going into game one, and let's get kind of back to that. You talked about last year learning from the losses, and you guys talking about in the offseason, like not just ECU's loss, but just in general about, all right, let's learn about this. But I really want to talk about, the bowl game, then going into this year. What are some things, and maybe not specific, but just like that game, you had a young quarterback who played really, really well in the game, obviously, but you still lost the game. Do you think, what are some things that you guys look to correct, and then kind of think like winning points that you're going to use into game one, like things that you're going to look at and say, you know what, if we accomplish these, we feel really good about game one?
Well, we start game planning next week, and that's how we do it. And Coach Doran talks to me about what I think. I'd say the same thing. Not even if it wasn't East Carolina. We really got to prepare for the controllable, and that's how we block and tackle and present situations to our team now. We'll start preparing next week, really, for East Carolina. But we haven't had time to do that because we've had to integrate the new players into the system. We know they fit the culture because we tested that in the offseason. And now but we really had to spend a lot of time on getting the guys introduced to how we do it, how it's done here, their jobs here, how it's changed from the previous school they were attending. And then after this weekend, we'll start preparing for East Carolina. Of course, you had to break them down and got staff members in charge of breaking down each opponent. But as far as a team, we have not began preparing yet, as of yet. We will next week, though. That'll be the first time we present East Carolina to our team. But we really had to do a great job as a staff of learning, just not from, like you said, Holden, not just from that game, but all the games about our team last year. Even though last year was last year, you still can learn from what you did positive and or negative. And that's another big thing I do is I really study how we won, had some positive, and how we did not, had turned up on the tough end too. So both are very valuable.
Coach, you mentioned about integrating a lot of these new players. You guys have a bunch of new players. ECU has a lot of new players. Who are some of the new players on the state team that you guys are really looking forward to watching on game one?
Man, all of them. Really, to be honest with you, because all of them we brought in have to figure into helping us and playing in a positive manner. We were able to go out and get some kids from all different schools, from Norfolk State to Northwestern to Wyoming. But all those kids, man, have to come and help. And then not just those, but our freshman players, young kids. We had some guys come in and they're doing well now. And are progressing, or you have to decide are they going to be able to help us in the first game. So, I think they've all bought into what we want culture-wise, but really don't have a spot for a particular guy yet. Started here, started there, but really as a group, man, I'm anxious to see them, how they perform. And next week we'll start twiddling down who's going to play and who's not. But they've all really worked hard. You know all the guys we've got. Y'all got all the paperwork and stuff, but all the guys we got that have come in have really done a great job adapting and playing hard and talking about what we want to do defensively, because we got 2 new coordinators too. So
yep.
we've had to install 2 new deals offensively and 1 defensively. So they've all had to learn that.
Coach, I know, talking about C.J. Bailey, who we know is going to play. We know he's going to play. He was there last year. I thought he played really well in the bowl game. He had a really, honestly, for getting thrown into his situation, he had a really good freshman year. I know how it is to get, in a lot of different ways, get a new coordinator after your first year, playing kind of midway through the season throughout your true freshman year, then feeling good about the offseason, then getting a new coordinator, then learning that. How important, and how has he shown progress in learning a new offense? Or it might not be a fully new offense, but with a new coordinator, it is different. How has that been, and how has he shown progress there?
He's been smooth with the transition, I think. One thing about CJ, his high school career, I don't know if he lost many games or any at all, and down in Miami where he grew up, and he had a good ball team, and he's well coached, good parents that are tough, but also understand the sport. CJ's ready to adjust, and he is a team first guy. Quarterback, that is can be a lonely position sometimes, but CJ was ready for the next move and adapt to that next move. And Coach Roper's done a great job. He's been around some really good quarterbacks, Eli and those guys, Manning guys, and the brothers and all those, coaching them at Ole Miss, and been around in the NFL, so he understands the quarterback position really well. I think he and CJ get along very well, and CJ's been, he's just a great young man. I wish you get to know him on a personal level more, because you see he's just a great guy. And I'm talking about when it's practice time or lifting time or whatever, he is as focused as a player I've ever been, been around. And I've had to be on the same team with Baker and Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts. Those guys are quarterbacks. And, Shane Carden, the captain, and all those guys I've been around personally. I know what Holton could have done if we'd have had a chance to coach him. But
jeez,
he's that type of guy. He's a football player, and so he adjusted well.
See, I'm a big guy at heart. I'm not an offense lineman at heart, but I eat like an offense lineman at heart, and that's why I love Jersey Mike's. I love everything on the grill. The chicken cheesesteak's amazing. Really, just make sure you get the giant sub. Eat like a man if you're our man. If you're a woman, you know what? Respect. If you get a giant one too, you know who loves giant subs from Jersey Mike's? Coach Ruff loves subs from Jersey Mike's. Don't you, Coach Ruff?
That's right, Holton. I love Jersey Mike's subs, but I only love Jersey Mike's in Greenville. So I get it Mike's Way every time, but eat you some Jersey Mike's subs.
We don't call it Mike's Way anymore. We're going to call it Ruff's Way. Next time, no, I'm just kidding. They might not know what that means. Call it Mike's Way, a sub above.
Ruffin McNeill is not associated with Jersey Mike's subs, but he is associated with the Holton Ahlers show, who loves Jersey Mike's subs. Coach, I know we're about to wrap up here. Just curious, as a football coach, outside the players, maybe you can include the players in here. What's your favorite thing when football season rolls back around, the kind of the beginning of the year that you always look forward to?
Man, I'm sort of weird that way. I like the preparation part. I love the game part. I really do love to see the ending competition, but like asking the question earlier about what's happening and getting ready, man, it's just the preparation before the game, before the contest. I call it a test, really. And take it off of it. It's a test. The first test, each week is a test. I like that test part, but I like the preparation building up to that test. The practice, the lifting in between when practice starts. I like the camp part, like right now it's the grind and football only part, which ends for everybody on Monday. Really, it's already ended. We started preparing them for school academically on this weekend, academic meetings and stuff, things like of that sort. But I like that part, but I like being around the players, and like right now it's camp time, it's football, eating, meetings, and getting to know each other. That's really important right about now. And every night we do somebody talks, a coach and a player, and have to talk about some past, something part of their past, add to it, and you learn about each other this time. I like that part. I love that part, really.
Coach, appreciate you joining, man. We can sit here and talk all day about all different stories, but we know you're a busy guy, so appreciate you joining. You knew you got love from us. You got love from all of Eastern North Carolina, all of ECU. So it's weird seeing you in that hat there, but we'll support you as long as it is.
I know. I don't have a haircut. I will take it off, but I ain't have a haircut since then. So I want to show all this gray hair up here. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I said I can't let them see me all this gray hair. They wouldn't. But anyway, I appreciate it, man. Y'all always do a great job. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to do it. Like I said, my first one, I got maybe 1 or 2 left, and then it's out there 5,000 with interviews, bro.
I bet so, for sure. Yes, sir. Hey, well, appreciate you. I would say good luck this season, just not week 1, Coach.
I know. Well, I got to do the same.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you guys. Y'all keep doing it.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. I'll see you, Coach.
All right. Love you, boy.
Love you, too.
Okay.